How do we start it though? Just like that, hey? Hey, Darryl.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Darryl. Good to see you again. You're here. I don't know if anybody noticed, or if you haven't watched our first episode yet, you can go back and see it. But when we were done
Yeah.
recording, Darryl had mentioned that it kind of looked like I might have looked like a kind of Disney character there with the way I had my discs set up. So in honor of that, I've come prepared with my R2-D2 ears that I picked up.
That's almost perfect. Those discs, they look like they're just sitting on the shelf right now.
Well, I'm not going to wear this the whole episode. I just thought you might get a kick out of that. Okay. Now, I know I threw this on you. We didn't discuss this, so put on your thinking cap here and shoot some holes in my idea.
The bit of a pause there was me taking a second to try and think the pros and the cons.
And all you can think of is how wonderful the idea is, right?
Yeah, we'll end the episode there.
Yeah, no.
Or should I say, it could be partly my catchphrase, that I like your idea, but you're wrong.
Ouch.
I don't know. I don't necessarily love the idea. I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm just trying to think why I don't like it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chain Out, the disc golf podcast for Canada. Nope, I'm not doing that one. I got lost.
I could feel you were like searching for words.
I'm like, I went way beyond the simple thing.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again. 5 seconds. It'll just be simpler. I think what it is I don't know what
Episode 3?
It's episode 3, but do I want to call it the Chain Out or Welcome to Chain Out podcast? Episode 3, I think.
Chain Out podcast.
Yeah, okay. Because that's how we've got it labeled, so.
Yeah.
I'm Jeremy, and with me as always is Darryl.
Hello, everybody. How's it going, Jeremy?
Going well, Darryl. How about you? How you feeling, buddy?
I don't know. Can you tell? My voice is. I'm not. I got that bit of a sexy Barry White voice going on, I think.
Oh, you say sexy Barry White. I was thinking maybe a little Phoebe Buffet smelly cat voice there. Podcasting energy that we've got is like a healing energy. That's what I'm going to say.
There you go. Yeah. Channeling my inner Phoebe Buffet.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, Smelly Cat says, chain out.
Chain out.
There for it. But for me, I think what the difference is that if I have an errant shot at Nor'Wester, I'm going to hit a car. A car is pretty strong. My disc is going to bounce off it. If I have an errant shot at the hills, and
I know where you're going.
It's going to bounce off them, but it could do a lot more damage hitting a person. And I feel that those tight lines, I'd rather go onto a road and hit a car or hit a truck or something like that than hit an actual person. So that's what I'm gonna use as my deciding factor of why I'd prefer to play Nor'Wester. Plus, Nor'Wester is gonna have the longer distance, all the things that we talked about than the hills. But one of those things is I'd rather hit a car than hit a person.
Hey, everybody. Some of the people may be listening. Welcome to Around the Basket, episode 50. 50, Jeremy.
Yes.
50 weeks we've been doing
zero.
Around the Basket. I am.
Does that surprise? Does that surprise
you?
Sorry.
No.
You're who?
I am the co-host, Darryl, with my other co-host, Darryl. No, that's a different show. No, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm gonna have to realize here we're gonna pregnant pause this episode because me being far away, I'm gonna talk all over you because I'm just always, when we get to chain or to around the basket, I just want to have that witty interaction, but it's gonna have to be half a second delayed. So here's your half second.
I was just seeing how uncomfortable I could make you, because I know
Oh,
you
you
don't like
can.
dead air.
No.
Anyway, 50 episodes, Jeremy. We didn't really bring attention to it, and it's kind of a good thing. Is that oh, sorry. I'm getting a text.
Okay, is it an important text?
That updated link only takes me to episode 49. All right. Well, hang on there, Sam. Let me
Well, I'm
yeah,
glad
that
Sam is that persistent to want to be in the Around the Basket
oh
episode with
what
us.
yes. Just let him know that I'm gonna fix it right now. Because he messaged
Yeah.
me and you. Did you let him know?
Oh, did he?
Well, unless
I
you're
will
not
let him know.
getting. Are you? Can you see it? I know this is riveting conversation for anybody that
This is
listens.
riveting. Yeah.
Anyway, you
Well,
keep talking,
you
Jeremy.
can
Let me
always
check the
edit it.
technical stuff.
Yeah, so 50 episodes we've got. We didn't bring a ton of attention to it. Around the Basket is something that's reserved for our Patreon members. We do put it out to the general public afterwards. One of the things
Oh.
we like to do with the Patreon group is to have that interaction with them as a live opportunity. You know, after 50 episodes here, we're kind of getting to the end of season 2 of Chain Out Podcast, and
You're missing my
then
point.
maybe
I kind of didn't finish my point, but we didn't mention it on the Chain Out podcast. Is that was episode 104 that we just did with Craig Burrows Johnson, a fantastic
yes.
historian,
Oh, yeah.
history lesson into disc golf in Alberta. If you want to go back and check that out, but we didn't bring any light to the fact that you're in Memphis, I'm in Alberta still. It was episode 104, which if you do the math, that's 2 full years, but we didn't bring any attention to it primarily because we're not in the same place and we wanted to celebrate 2 years of doing the podcast together. So next episode,
Yes.
episode 105, will be a bit of a bigger episode.
It will. It's a 2-year episode for sure. We can let our Patreon group know that one of the things about trying to make big episodes is that it is a hard task to get big names. And that was one of the things we were
Especially in the
trying to
off
do.
season.
Yeah, and in the off season, after the big names are done talking disc golf, they want to get on their vacations. They want to be with their families. They want to do that type of thing. You know, next week being American Thanksgiving coming up, that's a big deal too. But we're still going to look to have some sort of content that's going to be a little maybe different or more special for a 2-year episode. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
know
if you
what?
saw, Darryl. We can talk about it. Did you see that email that we got about one of those people we were hitting up and said that they'd be willing to do a pre-record with us?
I did see that, yeah. But what I was
Yeah.
thinking, and it's only just come to me, we could also either we could do pre-records with anybody, or it doesn't have to be our 2-year episode that made it a big special episode. We could say a Christmas
Mm-hmm.
special. We could say a New Year special. We could anytime that we really want to get make it a big episode, as long as there's a
Yeah.
significance to it. I'm okay with
When we can make it happen.
whenever we
Yeah,
can
well,
make
because
it happen.
the other thing I think about it at this point here is I was looking back actually just today through the YouTube episodes. I was looking at some of the view counts we had and that type of thing, and I saw we celebrated double digits, baby. 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And then we celebrated 50 episodes and we had our balloons floating around and things like that.
Isn't it funny?
And then we did our 100th episode was a little less fanfare, but we still had some celebration for it. And now we're going to be 2 years in and we're like, yeah, whatever, 2 years.
Yeah. We could get these big names on. They said no to us. That's okay. Well, they didn't say no. They just never confirmed. Let's make that clear. Yeah.
Well, and as we said too, is we've reached out to a couple of the people that we know that would be a good one to hear back from, and it is tough at this time of year. But I think one of those things you and I have chatted about, and we're still working out the details of it, is that season 1 was like chain out as toddlers or babies or trying to figure out who we were and growing up through those beginning years.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe chain out season 2 is, I don't know if we could say it was like the puberty years, and we, at the beginning it was a little bit rough, and then towards the end we really felt like we got our groove. And then now that we're kind of getting into that early adult years, maybe we're going to be too blasé. We got to watch that, but we
I think we're
season
in
3. What is it going to look like? Yeah, the teens. We've got attitude and we're moody.
I think now we're starting to see. Now we're starting to look at other. Now we're starting to see the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on your orientation. We're starting to see other people that we want to, get involved with now. Now we're seeing those people, and we're thinking, okay, I can get with that person. That person and me, and yeah, we can do stuff with that other person. Now we're seeing these other people that we think, yeah, there's no reason why we can't talk to those people. Before, when we were preteens, we got so excited.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with this, but now I see. Okay.
Yeah. In the preteens, we got so excited when the high school jock, when Casey wanted to speak to us. We were like so excited because we, someone in high school knew who we were. Now we're at that point where we feel like, okay, the spots have all cleared up a little bit. Now we're, that person's not out of our league anymore. We can go over and speak to that person.
Well, you know what? Maybe it is, if we're going to continue with this, because this is fun, we could just do this part all night. I like this. Is maybe what it is we're the seniors at high school now. And so we think we're up there, right? And we're having a good time. But then
birds and bees.
But then what's going to happen is we're going to end up in college and university and realize that we have no clue what we got ourselves into.
Right? There's going to come a point when we graduate from university that you and I are going to be like, okay, so what are we going to do next? And you're going to say, well, I'm going this way. I'm going to take this as my career. And I'm going to say, well, what happened to Jeremy and Darryl? Like, best buds forever. And like, I'm not going to that university. I'm going in a different direction.
We're Ernie and Bert. We're Scooby and Shaggy. We're Beavis and Butthead. We're not allowed.
What do you mean? Is this the end?
Well,
yeah.
So we were talking about it earlier there, Sam, just before you hopped in. Thanks for getting in there. We appreciate that. We appreciate the hard work you did to get on here. And I will tell you something. When I was at 1010 Disc Golf down there, I did find a disc, which you probably have, because I don't know if there's a disc out there that you don't have. But a while back, Sam in the chat was kind enough to give Darryl and I one of the first 3D printed discs in Canada. From Grassland Discs, we got those chickadees. And so I picked up a disc knowing that Sam loves rare discs. And you and I have heard of this disc on the podcast before. We know that Matt Dwyer, I can say his last name this time.
Yeah.
Was it? He bags one of these discs, and this is a disc that not many people have. And I picked one up for you, Sam. So the next time we see each other, I got a disc for you. And good luck turning it over.
Have you ever played with Matt Dwyer, Sam? If you have, what could the disc that Jeremy has picked up for you possibly be? Let me see if you know his bag, or if you know. It's not necessarily if you know his bag. If you speak to Matt and talk about this, then he'll probably say that this is a disc that he bags, and it's an unusual disc. So, yeah.
And as I said, good luck turning it over. That's your hint.
Well, then again, it could be the chickadee, because that chickadee was so overstable.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think as Sam said, it beat in a little bit as well. But
Sam, I think just still says he throws it. I haven't really thrown it that much.
Well, it's not Innova.
Well, apart from it not being Innova, and I've switched over to just being Innova, but even prior to that, like, it was just so, to me, it was almost unusable. No, it is not a tilt.
Don't. We can't give him that much hints. We just have to let him guess. I'm not going to tell. Are we going to tell him? No, we're going to surprise him.
I'm saying the chickadee was so overstable that I couldn't throw it. It was almost unworkable.
No, but you said you gave him an answer to the tilt. Don't give him an answer. He's just going to have to guess.
All right, then I will not let him. I will not confirm nor deny, Sam, if you're correct. And he says yes. He loves his chickadee. But speaking of
Well,
Chickadee, they have like 2 or 3 other discs now that are PGA approved as well. They have some other discs.
that I find that really cool because the way that things have gone with 3D printing is that now that takes it up that next step that just the same way as we're podcasting from home, and maybe in the past podcasting or doing radio work was something that was only reserved for people with all the right equipment, and now it's more accessible. Same thing with 3D printers. As they get better and better, they're giving people the ability. And I think what we'll do is we'll look back at these grassland discs, and including grassland, and similar maybe to the way Trash Panda did, and say, do you remember when we made that Chickadee? Do you remember that first disc? Because their discs are going to just get better and better and better as time goes on. And then
They have
Did you
they
hey
have the mallard, and they have the
okay.
blue-winged teal as
And
well.
what are do you got numbers on them or anything like that?
I can give you numbers on them. Do you want numbers on
Yeah,
them?
I'm
Do you,
interested to know more about it. This will be a little side grasslands pre episode when we get
like
them on for an interview sometime.
only if you really want the numbers, I'll get the numbers for you.
Oh no, I was just
So
wondering. Yeah, like what do we
yeah,
have?
so I was just stalling. The mallard
Uh,
is very similar to the disc that you've already mentioned. It's 5402.
oh,
So
okay.
very similar
That's
to
another
the
stable.
what's the one that you mentioned earlier uh that you got for the West Side one that you're giving away?
Oh, to the pine. To the
The
pine.
Pine. The Pine is also a 5402. And
Hmm.
then the blue-winged teal, that's an understable. That's 55-21. Oh, there you go. Sam's already put it in
Oh,
the chat. 5402 and 55-12. Sorry, -21.
well, that answers my question, Daryl, because I was starting to wonder with the 3D printing if they could
Yeah.
make an understable disc, or if it was the Chickadee was just kind of saying that, yeah, we've got a whole line of really stable discs for you. So hopefully you can throw forehand, because that's the only way you're getting them to go the other way.
And you know what? I'm just going to quickly bring this up on screen, because if you've seen that Chickadee, Brendan's also in the chat now. See, the link worked.
Hey, Brendan.
Obviously it has that it's very 3D printed. It has a flat top,
Hmm. Yeah, kind
born
of a
flat.
pebbled top even, really, right?
Yeah, with like straight, a straight side, and then the kind of the lip on the disc. But if you look at this
Mhm.
you look at the blue wing teal, like they've actually now started to be able to
Oh.
curve the rim and actually make it,
Hmm.
more like what you would imagine a disc to be like.
Yeah, that's cool. So already I was saying that eventually they would get to the point where they would be making advances, but they're already making advances because that's different than the one that they'd made before. And I do
Yeah.
like the theme that they've got going on. Is I like the bird theme. I'm a board game guy as well, as you know, Daryl, and one of my favorite board games out there is Wingspan, and it's all
Right.
about birds. And
Yeah.
so hitting birds on discs, that's and birds fly just like discs. So
Yeah.
come on, like
It does look like
makes
it
sense.
still has that pebble top to it. But,
Great tasting truck, great tasting duck is what Brendan says.
just going from what the Chickadee, like you said, the Chickadee will be their first disc, and they'll be like, "Oh man, can you imagine? Remember when we used to make that? That's how we made it." You know,
Hmm.
same with you know, in regular disc manufacturing, or whatever. They've gone from just what do you call it, compression, like the way they normally make a disc, to now the way that
Sure.
Trash Panda makes discs, and being able to grind up older discs and re-press them into new discs. When 3D printers are the technology that they have now that they're using to make these discs. I'm sure they're making them on
Hmm.
a very commercial scale of 3D printing, but in 5 years' time, even 1 year's time, the way that technology is advancing so much, the level of 3D printers is going to advance that much that they're going to look back at these discs and be like, "Oh, that was like we were making them with baby toys back then. And like now, look what we can do with these, you know, uh, 3D printers."
Yeah, agreed, agreed. And I think you know what we with our episodes for Around the Basket, we have some basic ideas, but I wouldn't mind leaning into Trash Panda for a moment and saying,
Sure.
as you talked about that, with Trash Panda doing the discs the way they did, I saw a post from Jesse. It's Jesse, right? Is the guy at Trash?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse was talking about how way back when he started doing discs, somebody had told him, a friend had said, why don't you use Lego plastic? And he had said, no, you can't do that. You can't use Lego plastic. It's too hard. It's not a thing. And now he's using Lego plastic
Oh,
in the
really?
discs. And it's actually giving some different, I think it's almost giving some fleck or something else to it. And it
Okay.
was just cool. Again, the evolution of stuff. And to think that, take your old Legos and he can put them into a disc now.
Right.
That's pretty impressive. I think that's a neat thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know whether it was a misspent childhood or whatever, but I know I had some Legos that, I would take a light or two or a match and melt
Mm.
them and see if they would melt. So people have, Legos that have been stepped on or broken or whatever, or melted or whatever the case might be, so there's people that have leftover Lego.
Yeah.
Sam says, well, 3D printing opens up an option of producing discs locally in more remote areas without any supply chain. Reference South America, Africa, things like that. Great point.
And
Trash
also
Panda
too,
is
Darryl, before you get to the other
sure.
comment would be with the 3D printing is that when you end up in situations like we're in politically and not getting deep into that, but just with tariffs and other things that
Hmm.
start happening, even if you were, let's say, a large scale manufacturer, but you could 3D print discs in a way that you and I want them, like, say Innova was able to 3D print discs, they
Yeah.
could then have 3D disc printers anywhere in the world
All right.
printing
Just send
discs.
them the
And then
file
that
and
would,
yeah.
yeah. And then all of a sudden now, oh yeah, you can save on shipping because we'll just have
Right.
our local person print that disc for you.
Yeah.
It'll be ready tomorrow.
That would be interesting. And I don't know whether Grassland can do it or maybe, anybody in that regard. If you were able to take a disc 3D scan it into a 3D print file. Like, could you
Hmm.
print out a destroyer? Like, I'm sure you
Right.
probably could, but how good it would be or how well it would form or whatever. But that definitely opens up, like, yeah, absolutely. Could you
Hmm.
3D print a destroyer and have it, like you say, locally printed rather than having to worry about shipping? And you could get it in exactly the right weight you wanted because you would have a file for each weight. You want a 159?
Yep.
This is the file just printed out, and it will use the right amount of plastic to print that disc for you.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, Brendan being a disc golf store owner, and maybe there would be a one-time use file is maybe
Hmm.
what happens. So then Brendan pays X amount of dollars for that file, prints
Yeah,
that disc for you, and you pay Y amount of dollars, which gives Brendan his markup on it so that he can actually be in
yeah,
business available again until you pay again. Like if there was a way to do that type of thing.
yeah.
Obviously people would hack that and everything else,
Well,
but in one world that seems pretty cool.
yeah. Sam is put in the chat there that there are free disc models available. So anybody
Mm,
with a 3D printer can just go out and print their own discs.
yeah. Well, and even too, right? Like we've had that recent experience with Kevin, who's helped us out with our Patreon chain out minis that we have for our paid Patreon members.
Yeah,
And, again, that would be the thing too, is it's a great little design. It has the raised printing on it, but then
yeah,
we were saying too, it looks a little bit like a coaster. But again, they'll start to round over time. They'll start to
yeah,
do different things. And before you know it, you won't be able to recognize the difference between a 3D printed. Even the plastics, I think, are probably going to change over time as well.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I say, the advancement in technology. Normally, we would say, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, imagine what the next computer is going to be like, or 3D,
Mhm.
3D computer gaming and things like that. But to go from, to go from, nowadays technology, you're really talking like 1 to 2 years. Like, I know from the manufacturer point of view, if they're making a 3D printer that costs, X amount of thousands of dollars, to make it worthwhile for them to put all the R&D into that product and make it and finally get it out, they need that product to be on the shelves for probably 2 or 3 years to be able to sell enough to make the money that they put into it. But I'm sure they
Agreed.
have technology now that they're ready to work on that is far better than what they have. It's just that they can't release it right now because the new product they just released last year, they still need to make their money back on that product.
Yeah, and I would say to you, Darryl, with that, if they can print and grow human ears, they can make disc golf discs in softer plastics.
Okay, that took a really weird turn, but okay.
Okay, back to Trash Panda for a minute, though.
Yeah.
I ended up missing out, and unfortunately, I missed out, and I did not get into the Trash Panda disc swap, even though I've done it the last 2 years. You did get in, and I guess the assignments have gone out, have they?
They have, yeah. And I want to ask the chat as well if anybody in the chat has signed up for the Trash Panda disc swap, the holiday disc swap, the thing that you said they do it every year. I've done it for the last 2 years as well, and I seen it come out, and I signed up right away. So I'm doing it for 3 years. So that's something that I've actually beaten you on. You might have me on the UDisc street, you might have me on other things, but I am doing the Trash Panda swap for 3 years in a row.
Yes.
It's as much as I don't need discs, and I don't know if I can really, you don't specify who, for me, I only want Innova. I only throw Innova. Do I think I'm gonna get an Innova? Probably not. But I have other discs here that I don't throw anymore that I'm willing to give up just to keep the love going and keep the fact that we keep recycling discs. It's a great way to keep discs moving, keep getting new discs in people's hands. So I got mine. I believe it's somebody that follows us because I know I've seen his name before. I won't give out his name just in case, for whatever reason. But
Yeah.
I know I've seen his name. I've got it. He wants a fairway or distance driver, no stability, preference. So
Specify.
unstable. Yeah, he doesn't care. He just wants a fairway or a distance driver. So I've got 3 discs picked out for him.
Awesome.
I've got I forget what type of plastic it is. A Lucid Evader from Dynamic Discs. I have 2 of those, but I'm giving him one of those, hardly thrown. He's going to be getting a Sting, a Discraft Sting, which I found on the course a long time ago. It has no name on it, no number. I tried to throw it. A few other people have tried to throw it, and they've given it back to me like it doesn't fit them. So he's getting a Discraft Sting, a Lucid Evader, and for a distance driver, I'm also going to throw in I want to say a Photon.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not a Photon. It is the one that I always used to, an Octane.
Oh, you know what? Take a look in the chat there.
Oh, so in the chat, Brendan McKinstry says that he's doing the Canadian one. Sam's got his assignment as well. He's sending his off to Winnipeg, and he's throwing in a PA5, an MD3, and an Octane.
There you go. Some people are getting their hands on some Octanes.
The Octane is a good disc.
It's a great disc. Yeah.
Before I used to throw only Innova, I used to throw a lot of MVP, Axiom, and all that as well. And I think I got an Octane in a Gyropalooza box. Maybe even the first year, or maybe it was the second year I got it. But I got an Octane, and I really like it so much that I went out and bought 2 other Octanes because I'm all about, if you like a disc, buy 2 or 3 of the same disc. Bought it in different plastics.
I remember Brendan telling you that.
Exactly. I think I took that to heart, Brendan. So yeah, I have 3 Octanes. He's going to get a Lab Second Neutron. No, Cosmic Swirl, whatever the Cosmic Swirl plastic is.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Well,
so he's getting
think it's
3 discs.
Neutron.
I'm putting in the 3 discs there. Sonia, person that's always active in the Chain Out podcast, she signed up this year as well. Thanks to Sam mentioning it last week's episode, we were talking about it. So she signed up. She's got somebody in Victoria, which is funny because that's where she's originally from.
Okay.
And they want a fairway driver. So I believe she's giving them an MX4 and an FX. No. An M something. An M. What would an M disc be from Prodigy?
There's an M. There's the M. What was I throwing? It's just M. It's like the M4
Is it
is a
just the
great disc.
M4?
That's the one that I was throwing, but there are MXs as well.
Oh, sorry, a H4 and an FX4.
Yes.
That's the two that
Okay.
she's probably gonna give. They wanted an understable fairway driver, so it's the H4
Yeah, those will fall
understable,
into
and
it.
an FX4 as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about this? What I think is going to happen is we talked about
Must be
at the
pretty
beginning
cheap.
of the beginning of the episode
Mm-hmm.
was about how things have grown. And what we've recognized is that we are starting to know more and more and more people in the Canadian disc golf world. And the
Mm-hmm.
podcast has let us know people from coast to coast. So I think it's going to be funny because there's going to be people who are trading and things like that. And we're going to know who those people are and who they're trading with, right? Like Sam sending to Winnipeg, and it's all of a sudden it's Dina or it's Brian Fries or it's somebody like that. Like the disc golf world in Canada is
Yeah.
actually pretty small. So we're gonna be surprised by some of the things that happen, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One thing
Yeah.
that I keep forgetting to do, and I told Sonia to do it, and I'm gonna try and my hardest to remember to do it this time, is to write a note, because I always forget to include the note. I'm so caught up on, okay, I've got to get the discs out. I've got to get them. I don't want people thinking they're not gonna um they're not going to get their discs in time, because that's the worst thing, right? People say they always get, some people get skunked. They don't, they send
Mm.
off discs, but they don't ever get them in return, sort of thing. And that's one good
Oh
thing we
yeah,
should
yeah.
also mention
It
about Trash
grinched.
Panda is that Grinch, yeah, if you reach out to Jesse and you tell him that you didn't get a disc, you know, they'll send you a disc or two.
Or they'll
They'll
find
send you
somebody
something, or
else
they'll
who's
find
able
somebody else,
to
or what?
help.
Yeah, they'll always take care of you. But
You
yeah, I
know,
always
with
forget to include the note. And it always reminds me when
well,
I get my discs in the post, and I frantically open them, and I'm like, "Oh, what did I get? What did I get?" And then right on top, staring me in the face to say, "Ha! There's a note." And I'm
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I forgot."
Well, and that was the thing I think from me with everything we do with the podcast is, yeah, I always put the notes. Well, when I did the Trash Panda one, and last year we were doing a lot of stuff, you and I at that time, with Brixton cards. So I put in some Brixton cards for him
Oh
at
yeah,
that
that's a
point
good
too.
idea. I could do that as well. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a nice, easy one
I got.
that a disc golfer would appreciate, and everything
Yeah,
else. Oh, you could put a signed one in, maybe surprise somebody. You don't have any doubles of any of your signed ones, do you?
no, the double I gave to you. We did. She did give me two Chantel Bedinsky
Chantel. Yeah,
Brixton
so I
cards,
got one of those.
so I gave you one, and I got one.
And then we have an Elaine King one too as well that's signed. But
And I
sorry,
have an
what I
Elaine
wanted
King
to
one.
say with that,
And I
as
wanted
I'm
to say
getting
something
off
as well, but
track.
you go ahead.
Okay, so what I was going to go ahead with the Trash Panda and with the letters is just to say, and this is slightly off topic, but we had talked about our last giveaway was a Gateway discs set of discs that were
Mm-hmm.
signed by Judge Havoc. So
Yes.
when we did that giveaway, it got tagged to Gateway, and then Gateway spread it around, and that was great. And we got a ton of interest on that one, and the two winners ended up being down in the US. So I always make sure that we
Yeah.
put a note in and we thank people and we ask them for that. But I think what we should do, and maybe let's check with the chat what they think, especially with Sam and Brendan out there, is what do you guys think? Chain Out Podcast has said that we're a Canadian disc golf podcast, and we do a lot of Canadian things that way. When we do a contest like that, do you think it's good if it goes to U.S. people as well? Or do you think that we should be going exclusive Canadian? Because I think
We had
that's
this
where we're
conversation.
leaning. We did. We didn't have it on the podcast, though. I
No,
just thought maybe Brendan and Sam might want to chime in.
sure. Okay.
We know
While you
what we
ask
want
that,
to do.
yeah, while you ask that question, two things I want to mention about the Trash Panda giveaway. Last year,
Sure.
I got a Tree Line disc golf T-shirt. So I think I either
Mm-hmm.
got one or two discs. I think it might have been one disc and a T-shirt, which is, that's an amazing thing that you get thrown in as part of the, you're only expecting one disc because that's the minimum requirement is, um, the only
That's a
requirement
good
is
point, Sam.
you
Good
ship a
point.
disc, you get a disc, right? That's the requirement. Most times people tend to throw two in. Sometimes you might be lucky and get three, sort of thing. But I got a disc and a T-shirt. Second thing that I wanted to bring up about that is that Sam in the chat is also saying make sure you submit your tracking info for the extra entry, because last year he won one of the major raffle prizes for the giveaway. He didn't say what it was. I think it may have been a pair of shoes. I think he might have won his Vessies through Trash Panda. I'm not too sure, but let us know, Sam, what you won. So yeah, if you're doing the giveaway, make sure you submit your tracking info.
And those 2 comments, bring those up because those are great.
Right. Sam just says, if you feel bad if y'all ended up shipping to Asia.
You know, we've gotten really lucky because we have to watch that, because we looked on our on our Spotify numbers and there have been people from Europe who have listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
So could you imagine it was somebody from Europe who entered, and now we're shipping to, we shipped to Newfoundland. That might as well have been Europe, but
I mean, you bring up 2 good points, and I guess the chat brings up a point as well, is that, yeah, because I'm always about, it's got to be Canadian. Who do we want to speak to? What do they have any tie to Canada? Is there anything to do with Canada? Canada, it's got to be part of a Canada link somewhere. But then you brought up the point of, well, we run contests and we ship to the States all the time. And I agreed with you that, yeah, actually now you bring it up, and it's a point that I never even thought about, is that, yeah, we should just have these prizes and just give them out to people. Anyone can enter, but you can only win if you're a resident of Canada.
Yep, exactly. So I think that's what we'll tag for these moving forward. There might be a time where, when Chin Up Podcast is like, it's kind of like, we've talked about this. This is like Pitbull. When Pitbull came out, he used to say he was Mr. 305.
That's an old,
and Mr.
that's
305
a deep cut, if you can remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Him saying, Mr. You remember, right? He used to say that. He used to say, Mr. 305, because he would shout out his zip code, or his area code, which was in Florida.
I just think
in
that
Miami.
For some reason, that was a deep cut, because we referenced that on the earlier episodes of the Chain Out podcast. I can't remember where that came in. Oh, it was another one. That's where that came from.
Like DJ Khaled, yeah.
Yeah.
But so never mind. Then as Pitbull grew more and more, then he became Mr. Worldwide.
That's
so right now,
yeah.
So I think really what it is at this point, we're still in that stage where our 305 is Vancouver or Victoria to St. John's, right? That's the that's the distance of it. And eventually we'll be Mr. Worldwide and we'll go down south. But I think that's the last US giveaway for now. But then I had the challenge, and I don't know what we think about that, is that it starts to muddy the waters, is the honorary Canadians, and the fact, like, Doc Zen is in the chat every single week, and I would never have a concern if he won a prize. I would like him to win a prize at some point. But then how do you stop Joe Blow, who just enters the contest from the US and has never listened to the podcast before?
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. He supports us. He's always in the chat. He's always, probably one of the most, along with probably Sam
and Sonia.
He's one of the most verbal and most interactive commenters. I don't think he follows, unless he's under a different username, but I don't think he follows us on Instagram. I don't think he follows us on Facebook. So I don't think he ever enters into those competitions.
Oh, he's not going to be in anyways.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's something that we bring up with him. Maybe we send him a private message somehow.
Yeah. Well, what I want to say too.
Or maybe we just find out, get his information, and we send him a mini.
Yeah. Well, I'll say too, Sam, the other thing listening about this is Mark Thompson, our buddy, he said he was recently in Brody Smith's Whatnot podcast. Is it a podcast, or what does he do? Is he does a live?
Yeah, I think Whatnot is where they sell discs, or they sell items. It's like an auction.
Okay.
It's like a live eBay,
so
I think.
So Mark was in there, and as we know, Doc Zen is also a moderator for the Tour Life podcast, is it?
Yeah.
So anyway, apparently Mark was trying to go to bat for us and say, hey, Brody, have you ever heard of Chain Out? Would you ever go on that podcast? And Doc quickly chimes in the comments and says, they'd never have him on. He's not Canadian. So here's Mark trying to help us out, and then Doc shutting us down.
Exactly. Yeah, we should have brought that up with Doc tonight. I didn't even think about it, but we'll bring that up to him next week. try and encourage these PDGA or DGPT pros to come on the podcast, not shut them down. And I know the way that you feel about it. You know, if they have a cousin twice removed that once flew over Canada, you can say, "There's the link on their way to Alaska. They flew over Canada. That's where they,
There, you know what? The link has to be as tenuous as my segues, is what it has to be.
We teased it before, and Sam's brought it up in the chat again. Secret words. I'm going to remind
Make
you.
me come back.
Put it in the outline.
You know what? Let's do
So
that. Let's do.
Yeah.
Do you know how? Because the podcast's on a truncated timeline. If we go back to the whole age thing that we were talking about, nostalgia comes back every 20 years. So in season 3, it'll be nostalgic to go back to the secret word, and we can bring it back.
Yeah.
So now you have a reason to get us to season 3, because now you know that the secret word's coming back for season 3.
It's just so funny that around the basket, we, as much as we try and make it a disc golf discussion and banter and all that, they just seem to be production meetings.
But I think it's good. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I mean, we tried to keep it, topic related. We did talk about the Trash Panda and recycled discs and the way that discs are going in the future.
Well, and if you take a look, you get a sneak preview of something we haven't really released. Although you did put a little post out, Darryl, just of a mail call that we got. I saw that one out that was out there. But take a look in the background, and even with the light on it, it looks perfect. So maybe we can talk about that with Sam and anybody who ends up watching this from the Patreon side. Yeah. But then we'll get to do a bigger announcement on the episode once we're ready to do it.
Once we get the full studio set up, I put a call out to Touch Disc Golf, say that we have our new studio, and we had people that have watched the podcast for a few weeks or a few months or even from the beginning will know that our studio has evolved over time, and we had just a cheap plastic shelf in the middle between where you and I sit, and we just had some hangers, and we trying to display as many discs as we can, because one of the things that I'm known for is that if I get a signature on a disc, it's a wall hanger. It's not a thrower. Although that has kind of changed recently, but for the most part, if I get some discs signed, they're not ever going to be thrown. They're going to be displayed. So now that we've moved into the new studio, I say moved, we've moved all the way across town to move into this new studio. Gone is the little plastic shelving unit that Jeremy never liked. So now we decided, what are we going to do? So we reached out to Touch Disc Golf. They sent us some displays that we're going to put up to display the discs in the background. And I figured, we were talking to Craig Burrows Johnson about the history of disc golf in Alberta and the origins and stuff like that. So I decided to go with one of the original Edgar 06 putters as the display.
One of the wizards, I think we know what it is, right? It was a wizard.
Yeah. Well, it's a gateway disc with no name on it, but we believe it's a putter and we believe it's a wizard. Wally could not confirm. Chad, I believe, they had a discussion and they ended up coming out with the wizard.
What year is it, Darryl?
06.
06. Okay, so it's not the first River City Cup. We know that now, which is another cool thing about the podcast and when we learn about these things. But
So
no, that's cool.
The studio will be evolving, and everything that's up there right now was just put up as a temporary background. Just kind of moving them around, and we'll redesign it until we're happy. And then the way that we have this studio set up now is that we can change it. We can move it around and we can change it up as we like it, and it may evolve, and we may end up doing it like a flavor of the month.
That's right, for sure. But it does look good. I like the way you got the light shining on it, for sure. Yeah. Well, now, Darryl, I think we've covered enough topics for tonight, and we're having a lot of fun with it. But you know what? We're talking about nostalgia already. Yeah. You know what? One of the things we did before we did Jeopardy, I think, before we did Family Feud, before we did Silhouette, Who? Yeah, Who Disc? What new quiz? Who Disc? Before we did all of that, we did Disc Dull.
We did. We
So
haven't done disc
yeah,
in
do
a
you want
long
to
time.
jump on that and try that? We have in Sam. Let's hopefully you haven't
Sam,
done it today, but let's
people in
jump
the
in.
chat, yeah. When was the last time you played Disco? I feel like Disco was like the disco version of Pokemon Go. Everybody was into it for like 6 months and then it died out.
Yeah. Unlike
Although I
Wordle,
figured if anybody
where
has
I'm
kept
still
it up,
playing it.
I think Sam is the person that does it every day.
Yeah. So if he has, then I guess he's just going to laugh at us as we go through it. But
Yeah.
if he hasn't, then we need his comments. We need to guess on this together. It's got to be a 3-person activity here. Yeah, I'm loving that, Darryl. Just we didn't get this shot so much of you with the disc in the background, but it's looking really good.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm floating out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, there I am.
Come and sit next to me, Jeremy.
All right, he hasn't done it in forever. He's with us. All right, then Sam, start with Sam. Let him give us the first guess. What is his like go-to disc that he would use for this? Because you know
Sam.
what's funny is like you had mentioned before was you like to guess a lot of MVP or Axiom discs because you knew that if you could guess it and it wasn't it, then that eliminated all the 0.5s. Isn't that what you said before?
Kind of, yeah. There are some 0.5s out there from other manufacturers, but it just eliminated 3 manufacturers. Because you know, if you typed in an MVP disc, it would come up as yellow if it was an Axiom or a Streamline. But if it came up as
blank,
then you could eliminate MVP, Axiom, Streamline altogether. So eliminating 3 runs of discs, that's where I kind of went. So yeah, I don't know if they've added any brands, Sam, but give us your go-to disc and we'll type it in and we'll go from there. And then we'll all right, he goes zone.
Well, and before you do that, Darryl, but before you
Okay.
put that entry in, go up to the how to play question mark and it'll tell us what brands we have.
Oh, it does up there?
Yeah.
There you go. So my arrow color, if the color matches, it does. Currently supported manufacturers: Discraft, Discmania, MVP, Axiom, Innova, Dynamic Disc, Latitude 64, and Castoplast. So I do not believe they've added any new ones.
All right, so we're still sitting with the same one. So we got a zone, and do you think we just go standard zone?
I mean, Sam didn't specify, so I just say we go zone.
All right, let's do it.
You good with that?
Yeah.
So we did not get the manufacturer.
So we
go up in speed from a 4-speed. We need to go a little bit up from a 3 glide. A little bit up from a 0 turn, but we've got the fade perfectly with 3.
Okay, so because we got a 3-handed game here going, why don't you go in and do the second guess?
You want me to go second? All right. So
yeah.
we know it's not Discraft.
So you've got your Innova knowledge, so why don't you jump on that? All right, you go.
Let me walk through my thought process. We know it's not Discraft,
okay.
So I'll jump into Innova then. So it's a lot faster than 12 speed, a little bit more glide, 0
A lot faster than 12? A lot faster than 4.
Sorry, a lot faster than 4, and I'm thinking 12. I'm thinking, and I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to go wild. I'm going to go an 8. Because I just saw this disc today, and I believe it's something like a 12403.
Okay.
So, well, if it's 03, then that's not going to work anyway, because it needs to be a -1. But let's go ape, and then we'll at least that eliminate Innova. That's a 13 speed. So it is Innova.
It is Innova.
Less than a 13 speed. I've got the glide right of 5. I didn't get the turn because obviously we needed more than 0, and I guess the ape was a 4. So what you're looking for is an Innova disc, less than a 13 speed, 5 glide, and 3 fade.
Okay, so
I've
now
got
5.
03. I was going to say a T-Bird, but that's only an 02.
So now, what's a destroyer?
-1-3. Could be.
So, let's give a destroyer. That's my guess. Is it a 5?
It's either
I think it
a 5
is.
or a 4.
I think it's a 12-5 minus. Yeah, let's go destroyer and see.
Sam is saying a Wraith Destroyer or an Orc. They're all -1s. What do you reckon? You going Destroyer?
I'm going Destroyer, and then we'll go with one of Sam's if I missed it.
Ooh, so it's
Ooh,
less speed than
baby.
a 12, but you've got the 5 -1 3. I mean, that's
It's
either
the
going to be a
baby
Wraith.
Destroyer.
It's either going to be a Wraith or a Orc. The Orc is a
All
10
right.
speed. The Wraith is an 11 speed. They call the Wraith a slower Destroyer, so I think the numbers are the same. I think it's 11, 5, -1 3. It's up to you, Sam. And
It is all in your
I believe
hands.
the Orc is a 10, 4, -1, 2,
Mm.
or -1, 3. Well, I think it's a -1, 2.
So then does that mean the Wraith seems like the better bet? Because
Yeah.
another thing we could have looked at is it could have been okay, because it's slightly down. So it could be an 11 or a 10, I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
a 9 or an 8 seems way too low.
Right. I'm thinking, if it was me personally, I would go with Wraith, but it's Sam's choice. So, yep, Sam thinks Wraith. I think the Orc, yeah,
Okay.
he's saying the same thing as me. He thinks the Orc is a 4 glide, not a 5 glide. So we're going to go Wraith because Sam chose it.
Yeah.
Innova has the right amount of molds. One for every perspective? No. Situation you might want to be in. Ready? We're going to go Wraith.
Yes.
Congratulations. The Wraith, 11, 5, -1, 3.
That's
You know,
it. Look at that.
I think that was partly me guessing Innova. Got us on the right track.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, it was all you, Darryl. I gave the Destroyer.
You did give the Destroyer. I mean, that's just an easy guess. Everyone would pick Destroyer. I'm just kidding. You know, if I got the Innova correct and I got the glide, you got the turn and the fade. No, I think
Sure.
you only got the turn because Sam already got the fade.
Yeah, Sam got the fade and then Sam got the speed.
Well,
at least I contributed.
You did. We all contributed. That's the good thing. We got it and guess 4 out of 6. You want to play one more? You want to play a previous one?
You can play okay, one more. Just one more, though.
This is just a random one from the 8th of the 8th.
From August 8th.
Okay, Jeremy, you go first.
Let's start with I'm thinking of it. Let's do no, we can't do that because that's not in there.
When you used to play it, what was your go-to? Did you normally start mid-range? Did you go driver?
I would usually start a hex is what I would do. Because then it's kind of right in the middle and it gave us an up or down. So why don't we do hex?
You want to go? I would always go crave. But if you want to go hex, I mean, they're right in the same ballpark. Okay, so we know it's not MVP Axiom. Slower than a 5-speed. Slower glide
so we're looking
than 5.
Putt approach probably.
So we're looking at 0-1. 4-4-0-1. Because less turn. So
no, it's a lower. It's more turn, so it's got to be lower. It's got to be -2, -3, -4. So it's a more understable disc.
The other way.
Nope.
Because I said 0-4 for the 8, and it was giving me an up arrow saying more turn, and it went down to a -1. Yeah, I know.
This is great, and this is 0.
Yeah, so it should be 4-4-0-1. Sam, do you know any 4-4-0-1s that are not MVP
this could be like a Reco, maybe. This could be
3-3-0-1,
like in that 3-4-0-1, yeah.
No, Reco.
Yeah, look
Sam
at
that 3-3-0-1 definitely could be. Oh no, Reco X is not. Ooh, okay.
Ooh, we're there.
So 2-3-0-1. Then I gotta go Aviar.
Okay.
Because we know that it's not a Castoplast model. We know it's not MVP Axiom. We know it's less speed than a 3-speed, so 2-3-0-1. It's got Aviar written all over it, but it's gonna say which Aviar.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, it's not Innova, but it is a 2-3-0-1 from a different manufacturer. So back to you, Jeremy.
Oh, I think we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Discraft, so it could be a Luna maybe. I don't know what the numbers on a Luna, but I'm just trying to think of low speed putters.
Well, let's go trilogy. What's a pure?
-1 or -1 0. It's an understable, so it's not.
Okay,
Not
so
that.
or a pilot or something like that? Like what would be
Can't
something
be
in
MVP
those?
Axiom because we've already eliminated
Oh
that.
no. This one here, I think we need to work as a team because I'm not strong enough in the disc knowledge to get this by myself.
Okay.
So, but if we were
2301
thinking
in
latitude or disc or who else would be in
Banger
there?
GT.
Discraft? No, Discmania.
Sam is saying a Banger GT from Discraft.
Let's give it a go. I'm up for it.
I'm just trying to think if there's any. I mean, I don't know too many putters from other manufacturers, so.
And a Berg doesn't have that much glide, so we can't use a Berg. But Casta is in there. Or no, we did Casta. That was the
Done
Reco.
Casta, yeah. Okay, we're gonna go Banger GT.
Okay.
That's a 2301, but it's not a Discraft. Okay.
So now go back to the question mark and let's look at who we've eliminated and who's left.
See, that's cheating.
That's not cheating.
So we've got Dynamic Disc, Latitude 64, and Discmania.
So we've got the trilogy.
So Discmania Link is what Sam is saying. Dynamic Discs.
And what would be, do you know any Lat 64 putters?
Latitude 60. Well, I know the Pure. The Cenus. But I don't know if that's 2301. I think that might be 02. I think that's a bit more stable.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I always think of that as the Sinus because that's what it looks like.
Sinus, Zenus. So, yeah, exactly. Sam is saying there's so many 2301 putters. But when you look at it, we've only got Discmania, Dynamic Discs, and Latitude 64. Sam is bringing up another good point, which he's also brought up to me on the course before, is that the trilogy
7
putters
7
do tend to have
1 7.
They do have,
but all of trilogy tends to be glide.
So,
all trilogy,
exactly.
All the mid ranges, everything.
Exactly.
Now, what
so
do
I
we
think if we steer away
then?
From that, go back
and
to
go to
Discmania,
and go. So we know they have their MDs. Is there a PX? Is that what they call their putters? Because Prodigy calls theirs PA. Is it a PX maybe?
There is, I think it's a PX1.
We'll start to type PX and see what comes up. No. Is there just a P? P1? Try P1? Yeah, there's P1, P2.
Yeah. PD.
No, PD.
Those are distance drivers.
Yeah, that's right.
P2X,
P2X.
P3X. I mean, we know Sam. Sam knows his discs. The Link is a 2301.
All right, let's give it a Link. I'm up for that. Then we're going to the piece.
What should be a Link now? Ooh, so close. Not the disc of the day. Why do manufacturers have multiple discs with the same? So what that does bring up is exactly, it is a Discmania. It is a 2301.
So then we are good with a P. So we are on the right track. So let's go and look. And now think of it, an MD3 is like a 5501.
Yeah.
So would a P1 be the same thing? You know what I mean? Like if their numbers, their one goes from slightly stable. I'm going to say it's a P1 or a PX1. Is there a PX1 or just P1?
P1X, if anything.
No.
There's
P1,
a P1,
it's P1,
a P2,
man.
a P2X, or a P3X. Sam says he wants to say the higher the number, the more stable. P2?
Oh, it's sorry, no, it was an MD3 is what I have.
Yeah, you have a mid-range. You don't have a putter.
No, but I was trying to say, what does the 3 mean? So if an MD3 is 5501 and we're looking for a 01, then I think the 3. So do the P3X or the P3.
Is the P1 2300. So then the P2 would be 2301, or do we go P3?
I go P3. It's my guess.
All right, let's just
Give me
let's
give
have
me
a look.
what I want.
You guessed Hex. Sam guessed Reco. I guessed Aviar. Sam guessed GT and the Link. All right, I'll go with you. But then I get. Oh, this is guess 6 of 6.
Yep.
So you're saying P3. I'm saying P2, just for the record. But
Well,
you're
let's
saying
see what else
P3X.
was there. P3X.
Ah, now you can't go back now. You're
Nope. Well, that's what's available.
P3X is the only one that's available. I say P2,
Yes.
but you're saying
Nope.
P3X.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go with P3X. P2X. So we split the difference. Yeah.
So P3X is more stable, way more stable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Darryl, you are the victor.
Yeah, I don't know if that really, like I'm the same as Sam. If I know discs, I know, you know, a few putters, but mainly mid ranges and up. I don't really know the numbers on putters because I don't really take into consideration the numbers because, as we've said before, I've had it confirmed by Travis Bouchard, who I was speaking to at the recent Gigagar. The numbers on a putter don't really mean anything when you're putting with them inside the circle. If you're inside 30
and
feet,
even
the 0, 1, 0, 2, minus 1, 1, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference.
well, for you, as we know, if you're putting from 34 feet or more, like 34 to about
That's my
40
range.
feet, it doesn't mean anything.
If it's a throwing putter, then yeah, for sure, the numbers will actually mean something. But so the numbers on putters, I don't really take that much notice of because I'm never throwing them.
Well, here's a great way to kind of get us towards the end here, is it wouldn't matter if you took the Reco, the AVR, that P3X, the PA5, my EV7s, it doesn't matter. If you and I threw all of those ones, we'd go around, what would we do? We'd be walking, picking those things up, and where would we be if we were heading to pick them up?
It's like we were having a conversation and you were like, I'm done. Bye.
I thought it was a great way to segue.
There was no thanks, Sam. Thanks for your input. Thanks for guessing all the numbers or anything like
Oh,
that.
you know what I forgot about that though is that because in the Chain Out podcast,
Right.
we can get towards there and there's like a little tiny space for us to kind of say that. So go ahead, go preempt that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed us doing a bit of a flash from the past, bit of a distill. We haven't done that in a while. Sam, thanks for your input. We got there. We didn't. Well, I guess we did kind of time out on the last one. We guessed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll have to do it again. But what I would like to say, doesn't matter what putter you use. The way that we putt with them, we hit chains, we hit cage, we hit band. But where do they fall? They always fall.
They always fall
around
the basket.